I keep it 100 shit. Scrap was being tough. He was a tough guy. That's all it was. He was just too locked in the streets, like.
You know, savage, but still had that warm heart, man.
Yeah.
On the morning of September 19th, 2011, Chicago's Inglewood neighborhood awoke to the familiar rhythms of urban life. For Stephen McGee, known to many as Lil Steve, it was another day filled with aspirations and the unspoken challenges of his environment. An emerging rapper, Lil Steve hoped his art would be his ticket out of the hardship that surrounded him. As the day unfolded, Lil Steve spent time with close friends, discussing beats and lyrics that spoke to their shared experiences. As evening approached, the sun cast long shadows over South Prairie Avenue. Lil Steve and a friend decided to take a walk, the cool air offering a brief respite from the day's warmth. Suddenly, an unknown man approached him on a bicycle. His demeanor was urgent. His eyes conveyed a silent alarm. "Hey," he warned, "there are guys with guns in the alley over there." The abrupt caution sent a ripple of tension through the pair. Before they could react, a figure emerged from the alley, a man wielding a handgun, his face obscured by the dimming light. Without uttering a word, he raised the weapon and unleashed a hail of bullets. The sharp cracks of gunfire shattered the evening calm, echoing of brick facades and startling residents nearby. Lil Steve was struck multiple times, the bullets piercing his head and torso. He collapsed onto the sidewalk, the life draining from him as his friends stood in stunned horror. The assailant vanished as quickly as he had appeared, disappearing into the labyrinth of streets and alleys that crisscrossed the neighborhood. Just a few blocks away, officers conducted a routine traffic stop at 6030 South Calumet Avenue, heard the unmistakable sound of gunshots. Upon arriving at the scene, they found Lil Steve lying motionless, his wounds grievous. Paramedics from Ambulance 38 arrived swiftly, administering emergency aid before transporting Lil Steve to Stroger Hospital. Despite their efforts and those of the medical team, he was pronounced deceased at 6:35 p.m. by Dr. Wiley. The time of his passing marked the end of a young life filled with potential and the beginning of another painful chapter for a community all too familiar with loss. Soon after, the incident report from his hit was leaked. In the heart of Chicago's South Side, Lil Steve lived a life marked by the raw rhythms of drill music and the unforgiving realities of gang affiliations. At a young age, Lil Steve's world was woven into the high-stakes life that young Chicago rappers often find unavoidable. His affiliations with the Black Disciples, particularly its 600 faction, connected him to the city's vibrant yet perilous music and gang culture. The nickname Steve Drill still echoes through lyrics and memorials, immortalizing the street where he and his peers grew up, in a cycle of fierce loyalty and relentless danger. But Lil Steve's life was more embedded in the streets than the recording studio, with the history shrouded in crime. He lived on the edge, often just beyond the public eye. Unlike his older brother, who found fame and fortune in music, Lil Steve's notoriety remained a shadowy presence. Memo 600 shared a raw perspective on Lil Steve's passing, revealing how he tried to steer his younger brother away from a dangerous lifestyle Despite these indications, Lil Steve's hit pushed Memo into seeking get back, a term often used to imply retaliation.
So what was that day like when you first, you know what I'm saying, heard that your brother was back?
Basic, typical, you know?
Yeah.
Just, you know, just tweak out, you know? Get back, you know?
Yeah.
That's all.
He described his reaction to the loss, not with fear, but anger, and warned that those responsible should fear encountering him.
Condo, and it's like everything is close by each other, so you gotta run into people, you feel me?
I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah.
They gotta worry about running to me. You forgot they did something to me. They running, not me.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like a boogeyman popping up. If you see me, you better run.
Large amounts of shell casings were reported at the scene, suggesting a drive-by or high-intensity shooting. In a surprising development, Terrell Jones found himself in the hot seat during the investigation into Lil Steve's hit. Under pressure, Jones named two individuals he claimed were the true perpetrators, a move that caused ripples in the investigation. Leaked paperwork from the interrogation revealed Jones's accusations, seemingly providing the case with a new direction. However, the assistant state attorney, Wood, concluded that there was insufficient evidence to levy charges against Jones at the time, leaving the case in a frustrating limbo.
ASA Wood met with the witnesses and conducted interviews with them. ASA Wood also conducted an interview with Terrell Jones, the identified offender in this case, with reporting detectives present. ASA Wood, after careful consideration of the facts, interviewed and witness and offender statements, rejected first-degree murder charges in this case. ASA Wood related that there was insufficient evidence at the time to levy charges against Jones.
For Lil Steve's family and community, the revelation provided a brief glimmer of hope, only to end in no results so far. A reminder of the challenges law enforcement faces in breaking through the wall of silence surrounding such cases. Jones's statement were tantalizing but ultimately unproductive, a common thread in gang-related investigations. With gossip and rumor often outweighing concrete proof, even an insider's accusations weren't enough to move forward. And who do rumors say actually hit Lil Steve? Most allege that it was Mob Scrapp. Damian Lil Scrapp Williams, also known as Mob Scrapp, was a member of the Gangster Disciples in Chicago, aligned specifically with the Mob Money Over Business faction. The turning point for Mob Scrapp's gang involvement reportedly came after being bullied and targeted by Lil Steve, a member of the 600 set. Mob Scrapp tried his hand at music, often collaborating with his brother, Ruga, cousin of FBG Duck, and friends like Dusky and Bookie. He appeared in a music video for Ain't Nothing Bigger by Mob, where he notably dissed both D-Thang and Lil Steve. In his lyrics and Twitter post, he referenced the ongoing tension with Lil Steve, implying that he acted in self-defense due to past threats and attacks from Steve, which eventually led to Lil Steve's passing. Allegedly, after constant persecution, Scrapp retaliated on September 19, 2011. On a podcast, rapper Rico Reckless discussed Mob Scrapp's intense and aggressive reputation, describing him as especially bloodthirsty within Chicago's gang scene.
I knew Scrapp was a real savage one time, but one time I picked Scrapp up. I picked his Scrapp, Bebe, Stain, I think like Freaky or something. I just had like an old Lincoln. So now it's all of us have been my Lincoln, but it's like them old school Lincolns. That bitch was to fill up with. I said, I'm ready to. I said, oh, we dropping his back off.
Ever since entering the gang scene, Mob Scrapp was known for his unpredictable and intense nature, often leaving others uncertain if he was serious or joking. In one widely circulated clip from a mob vlog, he appeared to shoot someone with a BB gun. Peers often discuss his intense reputation and street presence, and according to his brother, Scrapp, may have anticipated the eventual effects of his lifestyle.
The day he left out of the house, we was arguing about because he steady want to go outside and he shot in his chest already. See what I'm saying? He feeling like because it's not hurting that bad, it went in and out, he could still be moving, you know? So I'm like, you need to sit your down. Your won't sit down, you know what I'm saying? So he basically just, you know, telling me, I know I'm good, man. You know, now we fake arguing, whatever it is. But I told him before he left out of the door, like, bro, you gotta calm down, bro.
In the weeks leading up to his passing, Scrapp was shot twice, and despite his injuries, he returned to the streets repeatedly. His brother Ruga shared that Scrapp, after surviving multiple incidents, still posed with a rifle and proudly showed off his wounds. This tenacity reflected his deep commitment to street life, ultimately leading to his final confrontation. In the early hours of June 7th, Mob Scrapp was on Chicago's South Wabash Avenue when a black Dodge Charger with heavily tinted windows approached. With a towel concealing its license plate, the car slowed near Scrapp and his friend, a 20-year-old man. Shots erupted, catching both in a hail of gunfire. Scrapp passed away at the scene, just blocks from where Lil Steve passed away 3 years prior. Many speculate that 600 faction members were behind this attack. Hours after Scrappy's passing, Just Blow allegedly posted a tweet mocking his tragic passing, saying he was smoking on Scrappy. The tweet provoked responses, with one user suggesting he at least wait before taunting a recent passing. Adding to suspicion, Just Blow allegedly shared a video from 600's territory, near the hit site, in the hours leading up to the attack, intensifying rumors about his possible involvement. Another theory implicates 600 member Lil Boo as Scrappy's hitman. According to this version, Just Blow was unlikely involved, as Tay Capone commented publicly on social media that Just Blow had never hit anyone from Mob. Once after Scrappy's passing, Tay Capone taunted Mob online, claiming that no one had been hit in retaliation for Scrappy's passing, adding fuel to ongoing speculations. Doubts arose about 600's involvement in Lil Scrappy's hit, with some pointing to a gang called Shields as the likely perpetrators. Shields, a gang disciple, and Mickey Cobra's set near Inglewood, just blocks from Mob territory, became implicated when members posted GDK for Scrappy. Online after the hit, Shields rapper Khalifa later released a diss track targeting Mob, in which he implies witnessing Scrapp's passing, adding to speculation that this nearby rival gang may have been behind the shooting rather than the 600 set. Lonnie B allegedly commented from his personal YouTube account, pointing to the Shields gang responsibility for Scrappy's passing. In response to inquiries about the involvement of 600, Lonnie B remarked, "LOL, stop it. We caught Scrappy in the alley," directly implicating Shields. Despite these claims, no one had been officially charged, leaving the true identity of Scrappy's assailant uncertain. After Scrappy's passing, some Mob members began honoring his memory by calling themselves Scrap Gang. Rest in peace, Lil Steve and Mob Scrapp.